Not Just a Hobby. I'm Jag Rajlali. Hello and welcome to Not Just a Hobby. I'm Jag Rajlali.
And I'm Colby Smith, and this week's show we'll be taking a look at some hobbies.
This can be anything from Lego building or collecting and weapons to mountain biking.
Let's take a look at what hobbies local hobbyists are doing.
Lego is a widely known toy to many people. For Andrew, Paul, and their ever-growing Lego Vancouver community, it is anything but just a toy. Instead, it is a lifestyle. Our reporters Grace McLeod and Hunter Sue got the chance to witness the extent of this creative art form.
What's on the set? Well, I'm Paul Hetherington, and I'm a Lego artist, and I have been building for almost 30 years. Yeah, probably more if you include my childhood. Most kind of recognized Lego fan events. There is usually awards for different categories. I have been fortunate in the past. I've won the Best in Show award at BrickCon. The Lego system is very versatile, so usually I'm pretty quick to problem solve, and you know, Lego doesn't make every part in every color. It's impossible to have every part on hand, so quite often you have an idea and you have to kind of work around it using other parts. So I mean, that's kind of the challenge that I do like with Lego is the versatility, and you have to be flexible.
My name is Andrew Delbar. I'm an account manager at a marketing agency, and I've been building with Lego for, I guess, 30 years now, even a little bit more than that. I've only won the one actual Lego Build Awards. So my brewery won Best Big Building at Brooks Cascade in 2018. And then I'm oddly proficient at BrickCon in Seattle. They have a blind build, and I've never lost in all the years I've been competing in it. I think it's like 3 or 4 in a row. Even though it's not like my favorite build, it's probably brought the most, joy, and that's my Lego Kim's Convenience. That I've actually built it. I've actually got help from a few of the actors on the show as far as confirming what things, were accurate on it to make sure it was as, spot on to what you found on the show. I'm always kind of working towards having, the city completely built, and then, one day down the line, hopefully I'll have a bigger Lego room and then a bigger city to fill out there with all my stuff. So it never ends. I'm a decent builder. I'm pretty technically proficient. Someone like Paul is just on a whole nother level with technical ability and ability to create angles and things that I don't even think of. So it ends up just being a case of finding some way to make these things fit together and finding a cool way to do it, and then just battling through. And then sometimes you find out it's just not gonna happen. This vision I had doesn't happen, and then you tear it down and go in a different direction.
Lego's just it's another art medium. It's kind of disguised as a toy. So if you're into Lego, build what you love and really build for yourself. Having just come from BrickCon, it kind of feels like family. Some of these people I've known for 20 years, just from going to conventions over time. And then, every convention, you'll meet someone new. It's you just have this instant connection. It's almost like being a musician where, you're like, hey, I play drums, you play guitar, you just bond over music. We kind of do the same with bricks.
And these communities are so welcoming, bringing people in, and you also see people who, especially people who have, social challenges and social anxieties. And again, they had this solitary hobby, and it's given them that opportunity to come into a very welcoming environment and be a part of a group and just find people with that like-minded interest, and it just opens so many people's worlds.
Final words, I guess. Everything is awesome. No.
According to Everyday Health Magazine, hobbies that bring people outdoors can boost their endorphins. Activities such as gardening, meditating, and hiking can help keep you physically fit and emotionally well. We'll hear more about how hobbies can have a positive impact on mental health from our reporter Chris Koo.
Nicola Valley Institute of Technology, Mia Hunt and Jaden Narcisse are here today with us to talk about why participating in hobbies is important for mental health. Thank you so much for being here today, Mia. So how do you think hobbies and mental health connect to each other?
Oh, I think they play a wonderful role. I work here at NVIT as an elder, and I teach arts and crafts to the students. And it's a nice break for them. They come up to see me, and they can learn how to weave cedar roses or cedar bark and make mini button blankets. And we're going to do a ribbon skirt workshop. And these things are traditional things that have been taken away from a lot of the First Nations people who attended residential school. And a lot of us are suffering from generational trauma, and this is very healing to learn cultural things that you can do, and creativity. It builds your self-esteem and creates pride in being Native.
So I'll ask you the same question. How do you think hobbies and mental health connect to each other?
I guess like the same answer as Elder Mia, like I think everybody struggles with mental health, but for me personally, like connecting with my culture is a big way to improve my mental health. And some things that I do is I got my drum right here, I sing, I drum, and I also dance. So that helps my mental health.
Right. Thank you very much for having us today, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Thanks to shows such as RuPaul's Drag Race, the art of drag has risen in popularity dramatically. Our reporters Brook Jensen and Audi Adrico spoke with a couple of women who wear the wigs.
My name's Vivid, or India. I'm 18 and I do drag in my bedroom. So I met a friend. She was on Raise, who I love that character, so I was like, oh my gosh, we have to be friends. I added her on Discord and her name was Vivid. This was like, I know, I literally stole it from someone. So hopefully they don't want to start doing drag because it's mine now. The first time I actually got into drag, I was doing an Aquaria look. But the first time I did I started to try like a Vivid look was when I went to Work the World, and I made this, and then I just love the way I feel in it, and it just made me feel so happy being like, that's Vivid. And it's just, I gravitate to this style because as like a woman doing drag, I feel like you have to be more like over the top and like draggy, because if I just did like a simple wing or eyeshadow like some queens do, I feel like it wouldn't be enough and it would just be like everyday makeup. So then doing the over top stuff like this is just like really like, you can tell that's drag, you know? That's why I like it.
My stage name is Aria Reddy, and I am a drag queen. I've been performing for over 30 years and have always been influenced by drag, and it's all sort of been leading to just finally going, yes, I'm going to be a drag queen. I tend to be very influenced by blonde female performers, so I do a lot of Madonna and Sia and Pink. I feel like I need to do is amp my makeup up because I'm already starting out with feminine bone structure. So I need to look like a drag queen, not just a woman in makeup.
Well, my aspirations, I really want to perform. Like, that is the end goal for me. I love the idea of performing. My family, of course, knew I loved drag, but I never really actually tried to do it myself. My mom and all my siblings were accepting. I mean, my dad was accepting too, but he was just the whole women can't do drag, and I had to explain anyone can do drag.
I have a physical limitations these days, which was also one of the reasons for moving away from dance-heavy burlesque into more character-heavy drag. I think there is some misconceptions that drag is all about doing death drop acrobatics on stage, and that it's a really varied art form. I mean, it really, when it comes down to it, theatrical gender performance. It's a really, really versatile art form that is very much what the performer makes of it. And that is a very attractive thing to, I think, a lot of us who are just like, yeah, I want to do me on stage. I'm pretty active on Reddit, and almost invariably once a week or so on the drag subreddit, somebody is like, can women do drag? And it's like, yes.
Since it started off mainly as men looking like women, but now it's just a whole big anything. I mean, like, it's just like a mix of gender and everything that you play with when you're doing drag, so it really doesn't matter like what the base is. Like, if you like art, then you can do art, but like people always put people into a kind of box, I guess, when like really it can be anything you like to do.
It's an industry where you just have to keep putting yourself out there, and you have to be prepared that not everyone's gonna love you, and that's okay, and that's hard, but it's life, and there are gonna be people who love you, and just keep doing what you're doing, because that's the important part.
Still to come on Inside Look at Secret Cigar Lounge, jewelry making inspired by nature, and fishing for mental health.
Then our guest baker Heidi shows us how to decorate a fall-themed cookie. All coming up after the break.
What I like about this program is the hands-on experience. Every day I'm honing the skills that I'll use in my future career.
BCIT campus where the gardening club just planted these trees. So in the BCIT journalism program, I learned how to use the professional cameras to film our own news stories, and also the soundboards and mics in the radio booth to host shows for our radio station.
The hobby. Many people collect things that bring them fond memories. For two cigar enthusiasts, their hobby is about more than just a puff of smoke. Our reporters Caitlin No and Daniel Morrow get an inside look at their secret lounge.
My name's Ruben, and I just recently started getting into the old cigar hobby. A little story that goes with these little rings. So, my mother's father's father was a cigar roller in Holland. Every time my mother's, grandpa, would smoke a cigar, all the kids, so my mom and her siblings, would fight for this ring. You know, maybe it's in my blood that I'm supposed to actually be a cigar smoker, I don't know. Every time I smoke a cigar around my mom, I always give her this. And then it symbolizes a little bit of, her past with her family. I don't know why, it's like a little kid comes out of her, it's kind of funny.
This is a cigar lounge. This is where me and the other members smoke. No employees, we just kind of come and go as we please. It's very communal. A lot of things left out. We all have a lot of trust for one another. My name is David Tarkinen, and my hobby is smoking cigars. The first step while smoking a cigar is, of course, you want to remove it from the package. After I remove it from the packages, you want to get the end moist, so that way when you cut it, it doesn't crack. When you light it, you want to do it from a distance, and you want to roll the cigar continuously, roll the lighter. Now it's ready to smoke. Quite often the things that take place in a cigar lounge are watch a lot of sports, play a lot of cards, have a lot of conversations. It kind of acts as like a pseudo men's club. Smoke one of those in the morning, be on straight vacation mode. Then I'm gonna smoke a big guy in the afternoon. Then we're gonna go to the lounge for like a nice one on the steak. I've been smoking cigars for over 15 years. Initially it was a teenage rebellion that kind of had me try my first cigar. Then I was introduced to them later in life by a friend. His name was Justin. He's about 10 years older than myself, and we ended up using it as a commonality to kind of sit down and get to know one another more and more over the years. He ended up passing away at the beginning of 2021. And yeah, we would get together every Sunday for brunch. Afterward, we would follow it up with a cigar. Kind of through those circles, I met a lot of my now closest friends. And after his passing, I just kind of got into it more and more. The end of the cigar is the best. It's full of flavors, it's full of oil. As you smoke it, all the oil carries down the cigar. And yeah, by the time you get to the bottom, it's just, I feel like the flavor profile is most complex. Burns the hardest. You get a really good pull off of it.
Two Vancouver jewelry craftsmen find their inspiration through nature and forge it into their pieces, which take you back to histories long forgotten. Our reporters Amin Dafu and Philip Kovacevic spoke with two jewelers about their story.
A lot of Art Nouveau was inspired by like different types of tree, like fauna.
My name is Nicholas Deruda. I kind of jumped headfirst into this entire industry just by being at the right place at the right time.
My name is Anthony Sirkoniak. For jewelry, I never had a prime interest at a young age. It was nothing that I would have thought of when you're in kindergarten. You get asked what you want to grow up to be. It kind of just happened. I, a few years ago, had met up with a lovely gentleman named Nicholas, and at the time we were dating. And from a few months, I was showing interest into his hobby and craft.
It is the creative aspect that I like the most. I really enjoy being able to make stuff with my hands. I don't like I'm definitely not like an analytical person, I'm more of a creative. And it's being able to take this material that comes in an ingot or a bar, melt it down into the specific alloy that you need it to be in, and then shaping it. It's really cool seeing something that goes from like the raw material into something that when somebody else sees it, they're like, oh my God, I want that, or I need to have that.
A lot of my inspiration is from nature, textures, stuff I see just in my daily life, from the water, trees.
I just wish you could cast ferns. They're a little bit too small though. But that would be really cool as like a piece of jewelry.
Once you're in a rhythm with making stuff, you don't really think about why you're doing it. It's just, okay, I got this feeling, I want to make it like this. You look at the stone, you look at the notes that you had with your clients, like do they want a wide ring, do they want like a thin ring, engraving, things like that. And then you just throw all those ideas into the crucible and then pour the metal.
I think I'm most proud of it because it was 100% me. I had a little bit of help from my mentor, Nicholas, but it's still to this day my favorite piece. I get compliments on it. It's a cute, simple, just gold ring band, but for me, there's a big story behind that. That is the first piece I ever made that kind of got the ball rolling for me in the industry.
So, my first ring that I made ever, quite a natural texture, so quite a soft texture, unrefined, just like some of the moss on the tree. It grows naturally in its own pattern, so no two spots are the same. It's one of the textures that we look at every day or might be overlooked.
That's the kind of stuff that would be cool to play around with and make, like as a piece of jewelry, just like branching off different pieces of silver. Even like that stump could be like a gemstone.
From jewelry making to home baking, we are now joined by our reporter Brooke and our guest baker Heidi for some fall cookie decorating ideas.
And we have Heidi here with us now. Heidi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
All right. What are we decorating today?
Well, we're going to be decorating some pumpkin cookies. Hopefully they turn out like these in the end. So what I've done is I've prepared some cookies for us, and we're just going to finish it off by adding some of the flooding icing, which is in these little piping bags. We're going to finish off the cookie section here.
Is fall a very popular season for you?
Yes, actually. For Thanksgiving, I do get a lot of custom orders for Thanksgiving. I also do pre-sales where I prepare the cookies ahead of time, package them, and I pre-sale them. And yeah, people just come and pick them up, or I get them delivered before Thanksgiving, and they usually use the cookies as place settings on Thanksgiving dinner.
So cute. Have you been baking for very long?
I have 15 years, actually.
Wow.
Yes, I started when my son was 6 years old in kindergarten. And again, it was one of those hobbies that I thought I could stay home and make it a business and be home with the kids.
And here you are.
Yes, here I am. Yeah, so what I'm going to do with this is I've finished this cookie off. I'm just going to finish it off by adding some leaves. And there we are.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How long does it roughly take you to make a batch of these?
Well, a batch of cookies usually takes me about 1.5 to 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
And that's maybe about like a dozen cookies.
Oh, wow.
It could be longer, it could be shorter. It all depends on how intricate the cookie, what the cookie order is about.
How intricate do they get?
Sometimes really, really intricate, where I get an order for a character cookie, and that's always the hardest order for me.
Like custom characters?
Custom character cookies, like Mickey Mouse or Hello Kitty. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw people send you pictures of their dogs to make cookies.
Yes, and that is a very hard cookie to make as well, because everything is so involved with that, including having a custom cookie cutter for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a cookie of your own dog?
I have not, and I should, because I've made other cookies of other dogs, so I should.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
How often do you take requests?
Well, my business is mostly custom orders. I take orders off of my website, which is sweetvalleycookies.ca, or my Instagram page. And so most of my orders are custom orders.
I see. Yeah. What's your favorite custom order that you usually get?
Usually the cute cookies, like baby orders or baby showers. Bridal showers are one of my favorites, and I like to do a lot of florals as well.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And is your Instagram handle the same as your website?
Yes, again, it's sweetvalleycookies.ca for my website, and my Instagram handle is sweetvalleycookies as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And do you pick up and deliver, or how does that work?
I do, yes. So I have pickup available in Richmond, in the Stevenson area, and I also offer delivery by courier.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you so much for
showing us how to make
having
these
me.
beautiful cookies here.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, it's been so much fun. It's been great to have you.
It has been fun. Thank you so much.
Perfect. All right. And if you want your own custom cookies, reach out to Heidi. All right. And that's all we got. Thank you. Back to you, Kobe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. Many people get around the Lower Mainland by bicycle, but two local riders spend most of their time biking in the mountains. Our reporters Abby Francis and Cameron Crawford discover why mountain biking is so special.
It's fun, it's the adrenaline, it's the freedom, it's the quiet. My name's Derek Wintermans. I'm a mountain biker of 20 some odd years, all mostly in the Lower Mainland. Used to be on the national snowboard team for a few years. I'm a teacher, high school teacher, high school coach, and Kinetic Cycles ambassador, and through that I get to lead group rides. Why would I love mountain biking? It's fitness. You know, I love the earn your turns kind of a thing here.
It's just a good time. You feel free, you feel like you're in the air, and there's not much that can stop you. I'm Nima. I've been mountain biking for 2 years, and I'm a third-year engineering science student at SFU. I love getting lost in the forest and being able to be with myself. I do enjoy being able to explore the forest and rip through places where most people don't get to see. And I also like the aspect of being able to connect with other people when I'm on the trail.
Yeah, it's a high consequence sport as well. mountain biking is, and you don't slide on the dirt like you slide on snow when you're skiing and snowboarding, and crashes are pretty punishing.
So riding alone is a big sketch factor for me. You really have to put in some risk assessment before you go. If you feel like a feature isn't fully there, or you're kind of scared of it, if you're alone, you shouldn't be trying it for the first time. It's only if you're fully confident, there's no chance you're going to hurt yourself.
Personal experience being injured, from personal experiencing supporting other people being injured, it's kind of the people you want to be around when you need help, and that's kind of the culture that has been growing in our local scene here, is that you help people who need help, and it's wonderful.
It's sweet. You see all different types of people. Everybody's super happy to see you on the trails.
For me personally, riding on my own was absolutely a necessity with my young family, and then just living right beside these trails, it became something that was too easy not to continue doing. And before I knew it, we were heading up to the university for Timbits, just for a snack. We'll throw the lights on and just come out after dinner. My boys love having the lights on now because they feel like they're a race car or a pickup truck or whatever, and it's adorable, it's fun, and it's become our family's passion to leave behind that love of the freedom, of the fitness, of the health, of the nature is what I hope. That's what I hope, and I think I'm doing it. I think I'm trying to set a good example with that, living my life.
I feel like if I were to say anything to a new rider getting into it, it would be just go for it. Pull the trigger. You don't really have anything to think about, and if you want to progress, then maybe find some friends and join them on rides. You don't even have to do anything crazy. Just being out on regular forest paths is pretty awesome.
Being out in the fresh air and on the water makes people feel better. My co-anchor Kobe Smith and Tano Capolini speak to a couple about the joy of fishing.
Lucas Hamalaki has struggled with his mental health as a young kid, but now that he's older, he has learned to cope with it.
My parents were, from the beginning when I was a little kid, they were never together. I didn't realize, but they never got married, so I kind of grew up with the idea of like having divorced parents as being the norm.
Lucas talks about how fishing has helped his overall sense of well-being.
It's really calming, to be honest. Like, every time I go out fishing, it's a peace of mind, you know, being out in the wilderness. Even like, let's say here in Deer Lake, a small urban lake in the city.
Fishing requires lots of focus and awareness. This takes your mind off of conflict and stress.
When we first started dating, it was like not as much adventure, I'd say, because it was winter. And then he mentioned that he liked fishing. So we would go fishing all the time, even as dates, so he's calmed down a lot.
Being out just by yourself or with another person, it just, you know, tying your hooks and line, it really helps, like especially with, you know, things that could maybe overstimulate you.
Lucas and Shea have fished in other places than Deer Lake. They have fished across BC, and sometimes that exploring leads to some exciting discoveries.
So catching like not an everyday type of fish was really exciting for the both of us, especially since you know, we get like regular sunfish here, but up north is like trout, so it's more exciting.
After a long day of fishing, Lucas and his partner get to enjoy the spoils of their relaxing work.
I like cooking what I catch, and it brings me a sense of, you know, authority that I went out to a river or a lake, caught something, and I was the one in charge of cleaning it, preparing it, cooking it, or not even just keeping what you catch, just, you know, holding something that you caught and releasing it, seeing the fish swim back.
Lucas and Shea have found happiness together as they both love fishing. We just learned about how hobbies impact mental health and saw how the pros decorate cookies. We also looked at some of the hobbies that can be done outdoors.
Stay tuned to hear from our live reporter and take a look into b-boying and sick weaponry collecting.
Finally finished work. Let's go for a drink.
I'm to stay sober this month.
Well, how strange. I know just the place.
Really? Where's that?
The alcohol-free beer that looks, smells, and tastes like the real one. Strange Fellow's Nevertheless Pale Ale.
Please be ready to discuss all 50 chapters by tomorrow morning. There's also a 10-page report on.
Welcome back to the show. Breaking or breakdancing can be interpreted as a rebellious activity. B-boying is a new term for this sport, and our reporter Chris Koo and Steve Hackle spoke with two B-boys.
Unity.
Life.
Style. Likingness.
Creativity.
For me, b-boying or breaking is unity for me. And we've been able to see each other as friends and like come together. And there might be a bunch of stuff that we're dealing with in life that's challenging us, but whenever we come to that practice spot, whenever we come to that session, we're able to do something that is ours, something that we can go back to and just have a lot of fun. My name is Christopher, or my Korean name is Son Chang-woo, and I've been breaking since the beginning of high school. So my childhood, it was pretty lonely. I was just kind of like in between this person who didn't really know where I fit in and what my culture was and what I represent, what my values are. I didn't even believe that I could do breaking because it's pretty physically demanding and it's like, it takes a lot of discipline and work. But eventually, one of the friends in that group started breaking, and when I saw that, when they were going on the floor and kicking and doing footwork, I was like, oh, what is that? And so I tried it out, and it took a while, and I did it really badly. But honestly, even though it was so bad, it was just so cool. And no, we don't make whack tracks, and all the suckers get pushed back when I'm kicking real facts. I represent, set up shit like a tech boy. You're paranoid because you're a son like Elroy. It was a kind of energy. It was like a rebellion. It's a very aggressive dance. In fact, the movements itself can be interpreted as fighting. And when we're dancing against someone, it's called a battle. To me, breaking, I think of it as family, mostly because I think the people that I've surrounded myself with, they're pretty much like an extension of me, and they do reflect me as well. Honestly, this kind of reminiscing back, but when I first started, I didn't think too much of it at first, because I got dragged in from my friends, and then gradually I started building family, and I would say I was more grateful towards it because it taught me how to be patient and how to really set a goal for myself. Taught me just how to take it slow, there's no need to be rushed. At the end of the day, you just have yourself, and as long as you're proud of your own progress, that's what should be most fulfilling to yourself.
Is a time where I could truly be myself.
I can see my own identity.
Fun through movement and music.
It's our way for our individual influences to be expressed in our style.
While breakdancing may not be for everyone, a local charity is hosting free salsa dancing classes by the sea. Every Sunday, Salsa Saiz West Vancouver hosts drop-in classes that will continue at the West Vancouver Community Centre in the fall and winter months.
And now we are here live with our reporter Philip Kovacevic on more about the benefits of hobbies. So Philip, how do hobbies impact someone's personal life?
Well, Jag, according to a study by the British Journal of Sports Medicine, people who engage in physical leisure activities for 20 minutes a week are less susceptible to fatigue.
Can hobbies impact someone's work or professional life?
Of course, according to Lorna Collier, a health topic reporter, playing an instrument can improve hand-eye coordination as well as cognitive ability, which is essential for surgeons. Back to you.
Thanks, Philip. Children of the Sikh faith are not always super interested in the background of their religion, but Vancouver's Taj Johal aims to keep history alive through his weaponry collection. My co-anchor Jay Gross Lali and Cyrus Alejandro have more.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm Taj Singh Johal. I was born in Vancouver and I'm currently doing poli-science at Lingera and then becoming a future lawyer and maybe a politician. What drew me to collecting Sikh Shastras was the historical facts about each weapon. Each of the weapons are unique and used in a different style and technique, which made me really interested in learning more about them. Collecting was something that I started really young, at the age of 16. My personal favorite collection Shastra is pure silver, a kirpan, which is made out of Damascus blade, which was one of the most expensive kirpans that I've ever gotten. Somebody that inspired me, I would say, was my grandpa. Because of him, I got the privilege to learn about the historical parts that the Sikh religion has gone through, especially learning about the Shastras.
ਜੀ ਤਾਜੀ ਛੋਟਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਪਾਪਾ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਲੈ ਆਂਦੇ ਆ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਸੀ ਹਜ਼ੂਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਫਿਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇਖੇ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਲਿਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਤੋਂ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੜ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਆਪੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਆਪੇ ਹੋਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਵਧੀਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ
What others can learn from my journey is that you can be different, diverse, I would say, because not too many kids, my age especially, go towards collecting especially Sikh-related items. Mostly people that come from India or are born in India collect them, but it's really rare that people born in Canada don't really have this hobby. So I would say every person, every children should start collecting whatever they like, that inspires them especially. Or if you're a Sikh, you should start collecting historical artifacts, which make you interested.
In recent hobby-related news, BCIT has a new chess club. The club can be found on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, and communicates through their Discord server. They also do their meets in the BCIT library. If you are looking to learn something new, BCIT has many clubs like this that may interest you.
Thanks for sticking with us through all these stories.
Not Just a Hobby is made possible by our broadcast journalism and television and video production students.
Thanks for watching and have a great evening and great weekend.